Hello everybody and welcome out to another Dice Tower daily unboxing video. Today we're taking a look at Capstone Games' Fire and Stone, The Siege of Vienna, 1683. One of the most guaranteed ways for me to mess up your game name from memory is to throw a year in it. But this is a historical war game. This looks, so the year, it's obviously important. This is a game by Robert Deleski, graphic design by Domhnall Hegarty. So, what's going on here? The 100,000 strong Ottoman army arrives outside of the Habsburg capital of Vienna in 1683. This is one of the most intense sieges, most dramatic sieges in history, with a completely different set of cards for each player. You can conduct deadly assaults against impenetrable fortifications, dig tunnels packed with explosives, and launch desperate attacks to delay your enemy's advance. Or you can play powerful events with the power to change the course of the battle. This is very much a historic war game, so not something I don't think that we've really seen come from Capstone Games before. So that is interesting there. What do we got here? We got what look like gigantic player aids, or maybe game, what do you call these? Like aids, or not synapses, synopsis. You got two of them here, explaining here the victory conditions for the Ottoman player. They win immediately if. The Habsburg player wins immediately if, and then the different kind of actions that they can do, how battles are going to go, the sequence of it all. This looks, decently dense, like a war game. So, what do we have here? We've got the rule book, and we've got the historical and designer notes. This is one of those things I love and I appreciate about historical war games. And you see it a few times. You'll see it in things like A Feast for Odin. You see a book that is literally just an appendix of the history of the subject being discussed and some of the research around it. And so this is one of my favorite things about this branch of strategy gaming, is when you see things like that. Now the rule book, I'm not going to go into this too intensely. Oh, by the way, the inside cover here is really gorgeous. I like that a lot. It's not to say that I dislike this cover. I don't love it, but that's backwards to me. All right, so anyway, Fire and Stone. The object of the game, one player assumes the role of the Ottoman besiegers and the other the Habsburg defenders. Each role has a unique set of strategy, tactic, troop cards, along with different challenges and victory conditions. Through a combination of bombardment, mining, and assault, the besieging Ottomans try to capture strategic locations that will force the city to surrender. Meanwhile, the besieged Habsburgs try to outlast their foes through the strength of their fortifications and by launching sorties until a relief army can arrive. For both sides, the game is a race against time. Interesting. All right. So you got different cards here based on which player, which side you are, and then you got a map here, which is just a few hexes, really. So I'm assuming these are the invaders, and this is the defending city side of things. There's a wall, and it looks like a city. I can figure these things out. Card anatomy describes how everything's going to work here. This isn't a terribly thick rule book, right? But I mean, I don't know. There's not a ton of stuff going on here, but I wouldn't assume this necessarily to be light. But I assume that this is lighter actually than some other war games out there, just kind of based on. Well, I mean, yes, I say that that's a very useless piece of information. Oh, it's lighter than some games. Well, sure. Terra Mystica is lighter than some Lacerda games, but... So, game concept, hexes, yes, troops, so on and so forth. Playing the game. The game is played over a series of 5 or fewer rounds, each round consisting of the following phases. Refresh phase, players return all discarded troop cards back to their decks. Interesting. Strategy phase, players alternate playing and resolving one card at a time until each player passes. And then you advance the round marker. Whoa, that sounds very simple. I'm sure that there's no nuance whatsoever. That's sarcasm. Very cool. So yeah, you have different actions that you can take depending on which side you're on. If you're the Ottomans, you can entrench, assault, mine, fortify, and bombard. If you're the defending Habsburg folk, you can sortie, mine, fortify, and barrage. There are different event cards, how battles are resolved and everything. This is not the densest rulebook that I've seen for a strategy game like this, honestly. Then you got a nice example of battle, and then you have this summary, which is, funnily enough, it looks very similar to the dedicated player aid, but hey, they put on the back of the rule book That's more than I can say that a lot of companies do. So what do we got? We got punch-out boards. Single punch-out board. Oh yeah, that's pretty good quality right there. That's easy to punch out. The print looks nice and centered. You got the different shovels here, the digging actions, the mining actions. That's interesting. We got a board that is not too bad looking. It's very plain and simple, but you can see where the hexes are. It's not encumbered with too much other stuff, but you do have some little art detail from a high bird's eye view, which I think that's kind of cool, actually. Round tracker here in the middle, and I'm guessing some sort of like action or victory type tracks, and then spaces for cards along here on the other side. A tall board of sorts, or I guess wide. I don't know. It looks like it's easy to have play across the table like this, or you could sit side by side, honestly. So, board is not too bad looking. I know that they do also sell a mat with it, I believe. You have 15 dice. That's what I read on the back of the box, at least. 15 is not a number divisible by 2, so which side has fewer dice? I must know these things, and by association of you watching this video, you will have to learn that as well. So you got 6 dice here on this side, which means that it'll be 9 on the other. Interesting. Okay, so some little asymmetry there in the number of dice pool, but also in the types of cards and stuff that you have. You'll have different types of pieces as well. The road pieces are very long. These are much bigger than the Settlers of Catan ones. You saw those hexes are quite big. The red side has the big cannons. That's a cool little meeple. The yellow side has cannons also. That took me a minute to figure out what it was upside down. Round marker. Ooh, what is this piece? The Cannonball Auroran. You got different pieces here. I'm guessing these represent troops and different movement. And okay, well, cool. Bright, big ketchup and mustard colored pieces. Don't mind those. You have draw bags for both sides here. The inside of the box shows the same type of thing. But lastly, let's take a look at some of these cards here. You got strategy cards and you've got troop cards. And just from the get-go, I'm not sure which as well. Well, okay, now I figured it out. These are the troop cards. So Ottoman troops here of different values, 1, 2, 3. And they even have different names. I'm not sure if the names are relevant to play. And then I believe that these would be the Habsburg. This would be the Viennese. 3s, 2s, and then even 1s. All right. Neat. And then you've got these cards here. These, I assume, will be the strategy cards. And let's open up. Let's pop these bad boys open and see what kind of strategery we've got going on in here. Nailed it. First try. I do like the look. I do like the art. I'm not sure if these are exactly how these cards work. Oh, okay. So these are going to be, got it. These are the specific for the Habsburg side. They appear to have some different types of cards, but I'm not really sure right from the get-go what the different colored banners mean. Well, response. Those are strategy cards, and these ones are full-size cards without a banner on them. So I'm not sure exactly what the difference is. But you can see they all have different types of effects. You take turns playing these back and forth. So there's the break there. So there's various different types of cards you see from each side. And then switching over to the other side, you have cards with those banners. Gray response cards as well. Very cool. It's a big deck. Response cards. And then these are a different color. So I'm not sure what that's about. These also appear to be Ottoman cards, though, because they have that same symbol on them. Alrighty. Well, I like the art in this. I like it quite a lot, actually. There's a lot of games of this genre that are not as quite as illustrated as this is, and I'm kind of liking that. I appreciate that. So that's just a quick look here inside of Fire and Stone Siege of Vienna, 1683. Thanks for coming out to another Dice Tower daily unboxing video. Hope you have yourselves a fantastic day.